There's an old saying that empty vessels makes the most noise. And that is an apt description of most of the pony fans on Twitter. You see, these guys love spreading false narratives about Xbox. Could you guys remember when the PlayStation community was spreading the false narratives that there are developers that are skipping Xbox because of the sales? You remember that? Ponybot Uni would have said Microsoft own employees are ringing the alarm. Publishers are, I guess he's meant to put, supposedly skipping the Xbox console. And then he would have had the sales at the bottom of his tweet there of the Xbox console selling only 22 million consoles. Tommy tweeted his third line said, take Lego Horizon, skipped Xbox. Third-party developers skipping Xbox. But no pony come even close to J-Dub when it comes to pushing this false narratives. Look at J-Dub here talking about developers are skipping Xbox. Yes, we all know J-Dub to be a line snake, all the time pushing these false narratives on Twitter. Yes, my argument was always that there were no truth to what these ponies were saying because they couldn't name not one notable developer that was skipping Xbox. All of the things that Xbox didn't get initially most likely might have been a money-hearted move by Sony. And if that was not the case, we know that not all devs could afford to port their games to multiple platforms. Some of the smaller devs, they would just put their game on the most popular console because they think that they will get the most sales. But what really supported my argument was what Sony did. You see, Sony basically slapped the stuffing out of these ponies.
Oh, no! And Don, he ain't getting up.
I don't know, Bisping.
I don't know either.
Yes, Sony did that when they dropped Helldivers 2 on the Xbox. Because what Sony basically told these ponies is that all their stupid narratives with Xbox consoles is not selling, that is why these games are not coming to Xbox, was foolishness. Sony said, we want true gamers to buy our games. And guess what? All their data that they would have researched paid off because, as we would have saw in the last video, Helldivers 2 sold more on Xbox in the first 6 days than it did on PlayStation. That is with an install base, according to these ponies, of 30 million consoles. Wow, these ponies should be ashamed that the little 30 million consoles overpowered, overtook, and basically shamed the 80 million shipped by PlayStation. Well, it appears like another one of these ponies' talking points is going to be destroyed because a game that was once exclusive to PlayStation is now coming to Xbox again. So here what it says. A previously PlayStation exclusive indie hit now has a demo on Xbox for the first time. Just in case you're not hyped by Hollow Knight Silksong. Awaken Astral Blade is coming soon to Xbox, but you can check out the playable demo right now. So this once indie exclusive hit on PlayStation is now coming to Xbox. And so I have one question for the ponies. Why is this game coming to the Xbox if Xbox is dead? Why are the devs taking their time to port this game to a dead platform? If all these devs were concerned about the sales of the console, why are they bringing this game to a console that don't have 80 shipped sales? Let me know in the comment sections, you ponies. I mean, you ponies, you guys were so hungry for so long that you guys are getting delusional.
Shout the season, man. Shout the season, man. Yo,
I told you these ponies have been hungry for a long time. But there's another thing that really caught my eye this week because it goes to show what Jim Ryan was saying in the beginning is true. You see, Jim Ryan made a statement when Microsoft was about to acquire Activision Blizzard that seemed very strange. He said this. Jim Ryan, the president of SIE, stated that PlayStation's business would never recover if Microsoft released a degraded or less frequent version of the Call of Duty series on PlayStation following Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard. And a lot of gamers, PlayStation gamers, and a lot of journalists found this strange because the narrative was that, guess what? Sony don't need these multi-plat games. They have the best developers, they have the best studios, they have the best franchises. And guess what? What really drives Sony's business is their first-party bangers. That is what the PlayStation community was selling the entire industry for years. The reason why Sony's who Sony is because of the PlayStation first-party AAA bangers. You remember that? It appears that that was a lie. Just like the time your uncle told you that he used to do the voiceover for Street Fighter. Your uncle ain't no Ken or Ryu, man. He lied to you. And these ponies did too. Because look at this. You see, the stats and statistics would have come out for the most played game on the PlayStation. And what would you think it is? Do you think it would be Spider-Man? Do you think it would be God of War? What about Horizon? Do you think it's a Horizon game that is the most played game on Sony's platform? Well, take a look at this. Well. What do we have here? All-time US top 20 best-selling PlayStation games, physical and full game digital for publishers in digital leader panel. Look what we are seeing here. The top 20 games, the more than half of the best-selling games on PlayStation are Xbox games, but specifically Call of Duty. There are 11 games. Everything that is highlighted in red there or circled by red belongs to Microsoft. And we could see why Jim Ryan made the statement he made. Because when they would have done the internal data, they would have seen that the majority of players, all they play is Call of Duty. It's not the first party bangers that these ponies would have. All who rely on them to be true to say it's these first party bangers. So this is why PlayStation needs Xbox. This is why PlayStation would have said that here what they have a dying model, because Microsoft could bring PlayStation to their knees any moment if they just cut Call of Duty out. And that's a very scary thing for these ponies and for Sony. That is why you see they're trying to find their Call of Duty. But this is just facts and evidence to see that all these ponies do is lie. All these ponies do is talk things that they don't know. So what you think or what you thought about all the top games being Call of Duty on the PlayStation platform? Today, however, we are going to talk about a new console. They are calling it the PlayStation Build-A-Bear. Yes, you are going to assemble your PlayStation like a Lego. So you know what? Sit back and relax and let's get it.
This is a sickness.
Let's get it. Guys, my apology for that very long intro, but you can see I am working for your subscription. So as you know, we are on the road to 5,000 subscribers, and no doubt your sub would aid me in that goal. So if it is you enjoy Xbox news, Xbox content, sometimes we sprinkle some Nintendo there, but our specialty is Sony Pony Salt, and we specialize and we pride ourselves in disciplining the pony community worldwide. So if this type of content interests you, hit that like and subscribe button today. Now let's get back to the video. Now let's talk about the rumored PlayStation 6. Now correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't the PlayStation 5 Pro released in November of 2024. So if we are in September 2025, then the PlayStation 5 Pro did not even make a year as yet when it comes to being out in the wild. But for some reason, we are already talking about the PlayStation 6. Wow. Did Sony fully utilize the power of the PlayStation 5 Pro as yet? I mean, this is crazy. How is this even a rumor and this console is not even a year as yet? But who am I kidding? We all know the reason why Sony is rushing to put out the PlayStation 6, and it's because of this.
The bottom line is that Series X enjoys a performance lead over both PS5 machines across the early swamp area and a later bridge section.
Frame rates are generally good here, with a stable 60 FPS in most content. But those two particularly demanding combats still provoke minor frame rate dips, which isn't ideal. It's no major concern and performance is better than PS5 by a good margin, but Series X remains king.
This is nuts. But let's listen and hear what this PlayStation 6 rumor is about. Listen.
PlayStation 6 is planned to have a detachable disk drive on launch. Insider Gaming has learned that the PlayStation 6 is planned to have a detachable disk drive when the console launches. First introduced mid-generation for the PlayStation 5 and exclusively reported by Insider Gaming in September 2022. The detachable disk drive was a means for PlayStation to reduce its production and shipping costs for the next generation of the PlayStation. Several sources, who wish to remain anonymous because they were not authorized to talk about company plans, have said that the detachable disk drive is here to stay for the next generation. Identical to the PlayStation 5 and its detachable disk drive, customers will be able to buy the console individually as a digital console, bundled with the PlayStation 6 as a traditional console, or upgrade later by purchasing the detachable disk drive separately, according to one source. Unless things are changed at the last minute. PlayStation is firm on the decision because the disk drive for the PlayStation 5 hit all the company's internal targets. Again, it was reiterated by the source that the decision was made to reduce manufacturing and shipping costs during uncertain times, likely referring to the tariff/trade war. These uncertain times have seemingly influenced PlayStation's decision on the look of the next PlayStation 2, as rumblings suggest that this time around, the PlayStation 6 will have a much simpler design than its predecessor, again to maximize efficiency, shipping space, weight, and so on, even as late as this month. We can expect PlayStation to introduce a new PlayStation 5 Slim revision to the market, which will launch with an 825GB hard drive instead of the standard 1TB. It's also believed that, like with all PlayStation 5 revisions, the new revision will reduce the console's weight, indicating that PlayStation is trying to save pennies where and when necessary. While the news of a detachable disk drive may not be shocking to some, it's the best of both worlds, as it allows PlayStation to cater to both physical and digital markets while reducing costs.
Yes, Sony is prepping to give all the PlayStation community a Build-A-Bear console. So you'll be able to buy this console in parts. But forget about what I think. I wonder how the PlayStation community feels about being duped with the PlayStation 5 Pro, and now just about a year after they're coming out with this PlayStation 6. Now let's see what some persons think about it. Or VN on Twitter said, "Don't you dare." Then CV Love said, "They are literally just gonna sell you pieces of a next generation console for you to build." In other words, he's saying, this is just PC. Then Ratatouille said, "Can we just stop talking about PlayStation 6 unless they do something to convince us that this generation is going to be so much better than the PlayStation 5? It's going to be fruitless." So yes, there's a lot of PlayStation fans who are just fed up and frustrated with another console, another PlayStation console coming to the market, and they have not even utilized their old console. I mean, this person is saying PlayStation 5 is my last non-Nintendo console. I mean, so you could see how many persons are frustrated with what is going on right now with PlayStation and Sony, and rightfully so. So we could see that Sony is prepared to nickel and dime their consumers in the near future, and they basically is telling everyone the PlayStation 5 Pro was an easy money grab. Now let me hear what you thought about everything that was said today. Are you going to buy the PlayStation 6? Are you convinced that this is the next generation, a Build-A-Bear console? is the next generation of console? Let me know in the comment sections below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.